Welcome back to my channel, Hood Made. I'm Kim Hood, and today is going to be the third part of a four-part series in fall decor using just some common household things. Now, while this particular item is not a common household thing, it was found by a relative on the side of the road. And because it was thought to be pretty in its shape and design, my relative, my mom actually, thought that it might be something I might have a good time with remaking into something a little more functional. And that is a Royal Crown bottle. Okay, so stay tuned and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. In the meantime, if you will like and subscribe and comment a little pumpkin emoji down below, that'd be great. Thanks so much. Okay, we're going to take this Royal Crown bottle and we're going to turn it into some fall decor. Now I'm going to remove the lid, and I'm also going to remove the band under the lip of the stem of the bottle. I'm going to score it with some scissors and pull that off. Y'all, my mama was so cute when she found these. They're very pretty bottles. But I'm like, Mom, you know, those are liquor bottles. So she's like, no, oh my goodness. So, but again, they are pretty. So, and I've seen some of them redone online that were quite impressive. So, uh, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some paper tape because I want to tape off the part of the neck where the cap attaches. I want to be able to put that cap back on. If I was just going to leave the cap off, I would have painted the whole thing. So that's why I'm going to tape that off right now. Next, I'm going to take some plain rubbing alcohol and use it to clean the bottle. I do not want any oils on the bottle for when I apply the paint. Even though I'm going to be using a mineral paint, I still want to make sure there are no oils or any other interfering substances that would prevent the paint from sticking. Now that I have the bottle completely cleaned and dried, I'm going to take Fusion's mineral paint in the color Tuscan Sun. It's a really lovely orange color, pretty bright, like a typical pumpkin that you would imagine. And I'm just going to use that to paint my bottle. It is going to take about 3 to 4 coats to get a good layer of paint on this bottle. That doesn't usually happen, but again, I'm putting thin coats on so that it dries quickly, first of all, and to make sure that it stays on the glass bottle and doesn't scratch off easily. And once I have that first coat on, I'm going to actually take a paper towel and put my paintbrush in it. I'm going to squirt it with some water and just wrap it up, and that'll prevent the brush from drying out between coats of paint. And then I'm going to use my heat gun. You can also use a hair dryer, and I'm going to quickly dry the first layer so I can continue to put the uh, coats of paint on that I'm going to need. Now I've gotten all of my coats of paint on. I'm letting the bottle sit over to the side for now, and I've found this drawer pull that is made out of glass. It looks like a crystal drawer pull, and I'm going to put a hole in the top of the Royal Crown cap in order to attach the drawer pull to it. And once I have the correct drill bit, I'm just going to use it on a block of wood to drill a hole through the top of the cap. And once I have the hole, I'm going to use a screwdriver to push the screw for my drawer pull through the top of the cap. And once that's through, then I will take my little crystal knob and attach it to the top of the cap. And this is a close-up of what the cap looks like now. I want it to have a nice, pretty little blingy piece at the top, and I'll set that to the side. And now I've gathered some items to decorate my pumpkin. I assume y'all realize by now that that's exactly what I'm making. And I'm going to take my finger sander and use a 180 grit or 120 grit, I believe, actually, sandpaper to distress the bottle. The bottle's actually got ridges on it, and I really want those to show on the piece when it's done. And I've zoomed in on this so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing, but I'm using the sandpaper to just sand across the raised areas of the bottle to remove the paint so that it pops a little bit. It looks distressed. Now, another thing that you could do instead of doing sandpaper is you could take dark paint, like a black paint or a brown paint, like a chocolate brown, and distress it doing dry brushing. Once I finished the sanding, I did wipe the bottle down with a wet paper towel. Now I'm going to take a straight blade and I'm going to go around the edge of the where the tape and the lip of the bottle come together, because I don't want the paint to peel off when I remove the tape. Um, and once I have the tape removed, I'm going to take the straight blade and scrape off the paint that accidentally got under the paint, because I want to have a clean edge so that the cap attaches nicely. Now I'm going to take some jute. I've cut a long piece off and I'm going to be doing my burning technique on that to get the hairs off of the jute. If y'all do this, just make sure you've got some water and maybe a glass bowl or a metal bowl nearby so that if anything inadvertently catches on fire, you can put it out. But again, I've been doing this for a number of months, years actually, and I've never had it catch on fire. Now I'm going to use my hot glue gun, put some hot glue on the base of the neck, and I will be wrapping this twine around the neck all the way up to the painted lip, but not on the threaded area where the cap would attach. And I'll just place some glue periodically so that it helps the twine stay in place on the neck, and I'll continue that all the way up. Once I have it at the top of the neck, I'll clip that off at an angle actually, so it makes a little bit of a point. I'm going to put some hot glue on the underneath side of that last little bit and use my silicone stick to just slowly press that down and fix it together to make it look a little seamless. You can see I have that jute twine all the way around the neck of the bottle now. Now I'm going to take some ribbon. I've got this pretty fall ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, I believe, last year. It's a ribbon with little trucks on it that have pumpkins. And I'm also going to cut 3 strands of that. And I have this black and white checkered ribbon, I believe again from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to cut 3 of these strands. After I cut the 6 pieces of ribbon, essentially I did dovetail them. And then I'm going to begin the process of making a messy bow. I will also add at some point down the road some 3 strands of some lace ribbon. You'll see that in a minute. And here are the 3 strands of lace ribbon that I have. And I'm just going to alternate these such that it appears haphazard, although it's not really haphazard. Um, and once I have these in place, I'm going to use a piece of jute twine to tie them together. I'm going to slip it under, flip it over, and then tie it tightly in a knot. And after I tied it, I did cut the ends off and I left the bow, and I'm going to place it on the bottle. I'm just kind of checking as to where I want placement. I'll use my glue gun and put a big dollop of glue on that and fix it to the base of the neck on the bottle. And I'm also going to take a pumpkin button. I'm going to cut the loop off the back of the pumpkin button using some tin snips just to make it easier to adhere to the center of the bow. I'm going to use my glue gun and put some glue on that and just put it right in the center of the bow. And then once I do that, then I will assemble the leaves around it using also the hot glue. After I attach the first leaf on, I go to put the larger one behind it, and then I realized I better put the cap on so I can kind of get a better idea of the best placement for the leaves. So I add my little blingy cap back, and wow, it was so cute, so cute. But I also realized that I needed to put that jute around that upper cap, which I'm going to do in a minute. So I go ahead and finish attaching my leaves. So I'm going to wrap some more jute twine around the lid and have it go all the way up to the edge where the top and the side of the lid come together. So I place some hot glue and I'm going to set that, and then I'm going to use my hot glue to continue all the way around until I reach the edge of the top. And once I have it all the way to the top, I'm going to trim that again at an angle so that I can glue it down and it blend in with the jute twine beneath it. It looks a little less like it's got a seam there when you do it that way. So you can see that I'm going to use my silicone stick. I'm just going to brush that in a downward motion so that it blends into the twine beneath it. And here is the finished product. This is my little bougie pumpkin shelf sitter made out of a Royal Crown bottle. You could probably even make an acorn out of it using very similar technique. Of course, I would put the twine down lower on the shoulder of the bottle and paint the bottle brown. And of course, I wanted to show it styled on my shelf with some other decor. I think it turned out so very cute. I sent a picture to my mom. She loved it. She actually may end up stealing it from my house. But y'all, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next episode.